Hi there, and welcome to Let's Stress Less. If you're a woman who's feeling overwhelmed with life because your stress is out of control, you're pretty sure your stress could be affecting your health, and you want to get a handle on that before it gets worse, stick around. I've got you covered. I'm Chantal. I'm a registered nurse and your lifestyle design coach for stress mastery. And I can show you how to unwrap the gift of stress so you can go from barely surviving to fabulous and thriving. Recently, I did a video on 4 types of stress, and today we're going to go a little deeper on one of those types called anticipatory stress. What is anticipatory stress? In 1979, Dr. Carl Albrecht defined 4 types of stress in his book, Stress and the Manager. One of those types of stress is anticipatory stress. Those who experience this type of stress tend to worry about upcoming events. They anticipate a negative or difficult outcome. They may even feel a sense of dread or vague anxiety over unknown causes. They dread the future or fear that something will go wrong, often without even having a clear picture of what that might be or what it might be about. In other words, they feel anxiety or dread and cannot pinpoint exactly what is triggering the feeling. Nervous Nelly or worrywart are names often associated with people who suffer frequent anticipatory stress. It can be frustrating to be around worriers. Their glass is usually half empty and they generate negative energy. But for those who experience anticipatory stress, it can feel debilitating. Anticipatory stress keeps you awake at night. It makes your stomach churn. It creates fear and keeps you from enjoying life in the moment. Most of us have experienced anticipatory stress at some time, but some people feel like this is their life. They feel hopeless that it will ever get better. They're anticipating a negative outcome. If this is you, there's hope. Let's use my Stress Less method to work through this. Here's what that looks like. Triage, stabilize, diagnose, and treat. The first thing you need to do is identify your body's SOS signals. What are you feeling? The stomach ache, the headache, anxiety, frustration? What are your body's signs of stress? This is triage. Remember, stress is your friend and she's trying to get your attention. Her job is to warn, guide, and protect you. She's detected that something is wrong and you need to change it. What is she doing to get your attention? Once you've identified your unique symptoms of stress, the next thing you need to do is halt the stress response as quickly as possible. If you do nothing else, breathe. Take several deep breaths in for the count of 4 and out for the count of 8, or as close as you can get to those numbers, and repeat until you feel better. It won't take long. This will immediately trigger the relaxation response, and your stress symptoms will begin to settle down. This is the stabilize phase. It isn't permanent. It just buys you some time to figure out some other things. Now, ask yourself, what was your trigger? What set off your stress response in the first place? Identifying your triggers is critical. If you don't know what's causing the problem, you won't know how to treat it correctly. This is the diagnosis stage. Check in with yourself. Did someone say something? Did you recently watch the news? Did something specific happen? Did your mind go off on a tangent? What triggered those feelings? Once you have an idea what triggered your anticipatory stress, it's time to decide on a treatment or a solution. This is still the diagnosis stage because now you're figuring out what your options are. Do you need to make some changes in your daily habits, or do you need to avoid certain people or activities? Maybe you just need to modify some habits, such as limiting your time on social media, the news, or other outlets of disturbing information, something like that. Another option is to think about your self-talk. What are you saying to yourself? Do you tell yourself how bad things are or might become? Maybe you could start telling yourself something more positive. Or think of the worst possible outcome and then decide on what you can do if that should actually occur. Now that you have a solution, you can sit back and relax because it's really not hopeless. Once you've recognized your signs of stress, your body's SOS signals, or triaged, you've settled the immediate stress response, you've stabilized, and figured out what caused the symptoms to be triggered in the first place, diagnosis, then ask yourself, What do I have control over? What is out of my control? What can I do and what will I do? Then do it. This is the treatment. If you don't treat the underlying problem, the cause of the stress, it will keep coming back, and it usually comes back stronger. Your body is trying to get your attention, and it'll get louder and stronger until you respond. Sometimes anticipatory stress is unavoidable, but most often, with thought and planning, you can decrease the frequency and intensity of anticipatory stress. I've created a great tool for those who suffer from anticipatory stress called the Worst Case Scenario Planner. When you find yourself suffering from this type of stress, use this little planner to work through your fears and then lay them to rest, at least for the moment. In time, you'll quickly be able to work through the steps and get yourself back to a place of relaxation in no time. I'll put a link in the description below. What is your biggest anticipatory stress trigger? Share in the comments. If you like what you're learning, hit that subscribe button and the little bell so you can be notified when my next video comes out. And tell your friends, after all, stress is contagious and they have it too. My goal is to help you learn to unwrap the gift that stress can be while never losing sight of the reality that unchecked, stress can wreak havoc on your brain, your body, and your behavior. I want you to be empowered to take control of your stress now and course correct to fix some things before your health is at risk for devastating consequences. And I want to help you reframe your relationship with stress so you can fall in love with your new best friend. Join me each week right here for more tips, tools, and valuable insights as you learn how to recognize and unwrap the gift of stress so you can take control of your life, your health, and your happiness as you go from barely surviving to fabulous and thriving. And if you'd like more videos like this, make sure to watch the video on your screen. I think you'll like it. And always check the description box for links to more free tips and tools to help you master your stress. See you next time.